Welcome back to another episode of Hi Events. I'm joining you from Jetwing Colombo 7, here to experience the second annual Coffee Festival of Sri Lanka. And a special surprise, we also get to experience the LCA Barista Championship. I'm excited. Let's go check it out.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We warmly welcome you to the second edition of the Sri Lanka Coffee Festival, a celebration of homegrown Sri Lankan specialty coffee and the re-emerging coffee sector. Organized by the Lanka Coffee Association in partnership with the Australian government-funded Market Development Facility and Jetwing Hotels.
It's my pleasure to warmly welcome you to the Sri Lanka second annual Coffee Festival what we are unrolling today. As a representative of Lanka Coffee Association, it is indeed my pleasure to see you all here today gathered into one platform to discuss the emerging coffee culture to Sri Lanka.
But this is very encouraging for us in Sri Lanka to have the coffee brought back again. And for that, the efforts made by all of you, especially by MDF, has to be recognized. Jetwing is very proud to be associated, and as the young man mentioned, yes, we love to have Sri Lankan products. We are so proud to serve Sri Lankan coffee in our hotel, just as much as we are proud to serve, exceptionally good hand-rolled, handcrafted, organic Sri Lankan tea. So therefore, we are very, very, very pleased to be here, and thank you again for joining. Nice to see such a large gathering on a Friday afternoon. I wish you the best, and again, thank you MDF, and thank you for the Lanka Coffee Association for playing this role to make this awareness more and more.
Today, we are here to have a small panel discussion from a few strategic players in the coffee market. Some of them are from the private sector, and we have one delegate from the government. Just to give you a quick introduction, MDF is funded by the Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. And MDF is a program that's not just only in Sri Lanka, but also in the Asian Pacific region. MDF in Sri Lanka and the other countries are implemented by Palladium Group International.
The mindset here was that the imported product or the Italian coffee was the superior coffee, which is kind of baffling because Italy does not grow coffee. They import it from India and other countries, they roast it. So to convince the hotel chains, other than Jetwing, of course, who was quite one of our pioneers, the rest, we still struggle because they still think like the imported coffee is better. But things have improved a lot, I have to say. Things are a lot better. We have much better quality of coffee coming in. Our roasting technology has improved drastically. And thanks to good processes like Taranga, like the quality of bean coming out of from the source is phenomenal. I think we have like a world-class product now, which we can probably take to the world. So from an LCA standpoint, also this is what we've been promoting, to increase our quality and consistent quantity so that we could really go out to the world and pitch this product.
The government has been working in the coffee space for quite a while now, and there are roasters, there are processors, there are farmers who have been benefited from numerous programs hosted by the Department of Export Agriculture.
Actually, we, Department of Export Agriculture, we are the mandated the government institute for the coffee industry. Especially, we have the research and development divisions. So we have a lot of programs from production of planting material to until exports. So up to now, our total extent of coffee was around 4,500. Our target was in 2025, it was 5,000 hectares. And our production was around 2,500 metric ton per year. But now we are going to expand this extent up to 5,000 in 2025.
තරංග අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් වේද දැන් ඔයා ස්පෙෂල්ටි කොෆි බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එකක් විදියට ලංකාවේ දියුණු වෙගෙන යනවා. රෙඩ් ෂෙරි සෝසිං මොඩල් කියලා එකක් ඔයා ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා අපිට ආරංචි වුණා. ඒ වගේම ඔයා එක ප්‍රොසෙසිං ටෙක්නික්ස් කරනවා වගේ ක්වොලිටි එක වැඩි කරගන්න. අපිට කෙටියෙන් කියන්න පුළුවන්ද මේ මොඩල් එකේ තියෙන මේකේ හොඳක් තියනවද වෙනසක් දකින්නවද? ක්වොලිටි එක කොහොමද ඔයා ප්‍රොසෙසිං ටෙක්නික්ස් වලින් වෙනස් කරන්න කියලා.
ගොඩක් තොරට අපි කතා කරන දෙයක් තමයි වෙට් ප්‍රොසෙසිං කරනවා, ඩ්‍රයි ප්‍රොසෙසිං කරනවා, හනි ප්‍රොසෙසිං කරනවා කියන එක අපි. ඉතින් ඊට එහා ගියපුවා ඇත්තටම දැන් ෆර්මන්ටේෂන් කරන එක තමයි ගොඩක් වැදගත් වෙන්නේ කොෆි එකේ රස වෙනස් වෙන්න. ඊට අමතරව සිලෙක්ටඩ් පිකින් කරනකොට එන ඒරියා එක අනුව ලොකු වෙනසක් තියෙනවා රසෙ. මම සිංගල් එස්ටේට් කරනවා, සිංගල් එස්ටේට් S9, සිංගල් එස්ටේට් ලක්පරකුම්, සිංගල් එස්ටේට් කටිමූරේ වගේ වෙනස් විදියක කරලා බලනවා. ඊට අමතරව දැන් මේ අවුරුද්දේ මගේ ටාගට් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකෙන් ජෙනරේට් වෙන ෆ්ලේවර්ස් තියෙනවා. ෆ්ලේවර්ස් වල අපි නෝට් එක වෙනස් කරලා ගන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා බලන්න ඕන ලෝකේ. අපි දැන් මේ සැරේ මං හිතන්නේ MDF එකත් එක්ක මගේ සාම්පල් යව ගොඩක් දුරට ඕස්ට්‍රේලියාව වල රටවල් කීපයකට යවුවා. ඒ වගේ අපිට ප්‍රූව් කරන්න සාක්ෂි තියෙනවා ලකුණු 86ට උඩින් තියෙනවා කියන එක.
Australia supports Sri Lanka's coffee industry not just because we are a nation of coffee drinkers. In fact, every morning millions of Australians start their day with an espresso, a cappuccino, long black, flat white or some other coffee variation. Long black is my personal choice. But we also do this because we recognise the important role that a vibrant coffee sector can play as a source of growth and development for Sri Lanka, particularly in the important tourism and hospitality sector. Of course, we recognise that Sri Lanka is a country with a strong tradition and heritage in cultivating, drinking and exporting tea as well. But we are sure that these two sectors will not crowd each other out and in fact can work together in complementary ways. Australia recognises that Sri Lanka's economic recovery and future growth will depend on activating the private sector as an engine of growth. MDF has been working with private sector players in the coffee industry to increase production, improve quality and sourcing and processing, and developing industry coordination and promotion.
Since 2017, Market Development Facility MDF has been involved in the coffee space with a primary overarching objective of developing and elevating the specialty segment of coffee. And a key component of that has been industry coordination and promotion. Collaborating with the LCA thus far, it's been instrumental in uniting the industry under one common advocacy platform to drive growth in a very holistic and sustainable manner, benefiting all the stakeholders involved. At present, MDF has undertaken several different initiatives to sort of achieve this objective, including engaging with international coffee experts to provide technical expertise, developing a market study to attract both domestic and foreign investments, showcasing our local specialty coffee in the international stage through the Melbourne International Coffee Expo.
It gives us great delight that in just a span of 2 years, they have shown and demonstrated the commitment, the drive, the ownership from all the members to create this enthusiasm in the coffee sector. And this is just something that I think we really need to acknowledge, that the industry has jointly come together. And while we're on the right trajectory and we're making a dent in the domestic specialty coffee sector and international, the momentum must be maintained. This really means that we need to continue working and channeling and directing investments towards further quality improvements, volume improvements, market linkages, and overall industry coordination.
Why Lanka Coffee Association? What was the whole idea behind having Lanka Coffee Association? I think you already saw that the Lanka Coffee Association is a partnership of almost all the leading companies, leading processors, leading farmers in the country. There were many companies that were doing different things to improve the quality of the Sri Lankan coffee. But all of them were doing individual work. One was doing one thing, the other another thing, the third company another thing. So we came to a table, thanks to MDF, where we decided, what if we combine our efforts together? Rather than running on 3 different tracks, what if we focus all of this together and we start running on a single track. If all our focus is together, a lot of information will come in, a lot of data will come in, and all of us would run in the same track, meaning our progress would be a lot more efficient and effective. And that's where the whole concept of Lanka Coffee Association was born. So 2021 April was the year the association was formed 2 years ago. And even at the very inception, we had all the leading stakeholders in this industry joining together in a single table with one common objective. During the last 2 years, we've managed to have a lot of programs to achieve our main objective. There were many training programs that were arranged. We managed to have an industry expert from Raw Material Australia, Miguel, join in Sri Lanka. We had a 4-day training session in Valimada, a brilliant opportunity for us to get a brilliant insight from a very expert on the field that they play in. Something that is very rare in Sri Lanka, a resource or the know-how or the knowledge that we do not have in Sri Lanka, inside Sri Lanka, was shared with the entire LCA membership and the wider group.
here with the Australian High Commission, Mr. Paul Stephen. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the event.
I've enjoyed the event a lot. It's been very interesting, and it's great to be here to promote the coffee sector in Sri Lanka and to give some prominence and priority to this emerging sector.
Definitely. And what do you think the impact is on doing such an event here in Sri Lanka?
Well, I think it's really important that people understand there's a lot of work that's going into improving this sector. There's a lot of work that's going on in the regional areas with the agricultural producers, but an event like this, which brings together the marketers and Jetwing, for example, the support of big companies like that, it's good to provide the profile that's needed so people have more awareness about what's happening in this sector.
I'm here with the chairman of the Jetwing Group, Mr. Hiran Kure. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm very excited.
Glad to know. I hope you enjoyed today's proceedings. And of course, it's the second annual Coffee Festival of Sri Lanka. How did this come about, and what was the impact that you were looking for with this event?
Well, I was just a visitor at the first event, and I was so excited when I saw that. The amount of people, and also the showcasing Sri Lankan coffee to the world. And then when the opportunity came for us to partner this event, we just jumped at it because Jetwing as a company loves Sri Lankan items, loves to promote Sri Lankan products. So then this is bringing the farmers, the processors, and the baristas, the makers, coffee makers, into one platform, giving energy, and also to the skeptics who don't really believe that Sri Lankan things are good, giving them the message that, hey, Sri Lankan items are good, Sri Lankan coffee is as good as any in the world, and we don't need to rely on Italian coffee or French coffee, that Sri Lankan coffee is good. And my hope one day is that we become a net exporter of coffee than a net importer of. At the moment we are importing more coffee than what we produce here. I hope with this kind of events, with this kind of energy created, that we will one day be more stronger, and that we will be self-reliant and also exporting more to the rest of the world.
And I also read that it's crucial. This point of the festival is also to provide a crucial space for coffee enthusiasts to meet up and discuss the progression of the industry. Why do you think that's important?
I think that's important because you're sharing knowledge, right? When people from farmers to processors to the makers and finally those who serve the coffee meet together, you share different experiences, different knowledge. So that's good because then, ultimately, Sri Lanka is a great winner, right? Yeah. So all these people coming under one platform is good. So that's really very, very good.
I'm here with the country director of MDF, that's Mariam Piraja. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the event today.
Absolutely, it's a great turnout, exceeded our expectations.
And something that was elaborated in this conference is the resurgence of coffee, and it's I'd say comeback that it's having the past 20 years. Would you care to comment on that and the progression of the industry ever since it started making that comeback?
Absolutely. I think we discussed a lot at length today about how coffee is not new to Sri Lanka, and hence we're talking about the re-emergence of the coffee culture. And back in 2017, Australia's Market Development Facility really started to invest and direct investments in this sector by improving the quality, the processing standards, making sure that linkages are made with the market, and just encouraging industry coordination, which is why we're here today. And over the years, we've definitely seen a remarkable growth in the industry and just enthusiasm from all the stakeholders to come together to process better quality, higher volumes of specialty coffee, not only for the domestic market, but also potentially for export.
Would you call the event a success?
I think so. I think it was a full room, and I think there's a lot of energy, and I think it's just really important to maintain that energy. But for us, it's been a great delight to see all the businesses, government representatives, the development partners come together for this joint and very important conversation around not just the challenges, but really celebrating the success and and how far the industry has come over the years.
I'm here with Nimi Galyarachi. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Would you mind giving us a bit of an introduction on yourself?
Absolutely. I work for Market Development Facility, which is implemented by Palladium Group as an agronomy and a coffee focal and a country team coordinator.
Right. And would you mind giving us a little comment on specialty coffee here in Sri Lanka?
Absolutely. So specialty coffee has been something nascent a couple of years ago in Sri Lanka, but we have seen immense growth in this space in the past, I would say, 7 to 10 years. Specialty coffee is something very different from commodity coffee. When you walk into a store, what you buy that's already ground and already roasted, we can categorize that safely as a commodity coffee or a high quality shelf coffee. But specialty coffee is a different game. Specialty coffee is something that processors put in a lot of time and thought and investment to produce. They think of things like fermentation techniques, sun drying, lots of in-field things to pay attention to when you're producing specialty coffee. And once you do, to qualify as specialty coffee, you have a point grade system internationally called cupping scores. So any coffee that qualifies or scores more than 82 points can be classified as a specialty coffee. But 82 is still very low. Sri Lanka's aspiration is at least try and hit somewhere around 88, 89. And there is very good potential. I've recently cupped Sri Lankan coffee and we've cupped them in Australia as well. That very nicely scored above 86 points, which shows the Sri Lankan coffee sector's potential. And we weren't able to see this growth about 3 years ago. We were at the beginning stages of it, but now we are very stable in the midstream at least. Yeah.
Yet another exciting event here at Jetwing Colombo 7. My name is Isra and I'll catch you next time on Hi Events.